Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast.
Mind Gap Podcast.
Welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And we have not one, but two phenomenal guests joining us this week. And I'm going to let Justin do the honors.
We really do. So from the quarantine web series that we have been teasing for fucking months, which is now officially called The Quarantine Files.
Ooh.
We have the stars of episode 1, Michael, a.k.a. Mike Sherman, and Karla Serrato. I did it right the second time.
Yeah! Wait, what do you mean the second time?
Welcome.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of
We're
course.
Very excited to have you guys here. Before we jump into how awesome you two are, Doug has a little bit of housekeeping that we're going to just get to real quick.
All right, let's get through this because you all know what this is. Number one, we're on Spotify. Listen to us there amongst other places, but that's the big one, Spotify. Check us out there. Number two, we've got merch at teespring.com/stores/2, the letter E, the number 8. Go check out our shit there. Third, if you haven't already, and if you don't know, the wonderful Wolf's Lore has started their own Twitch account to dive deep into our throwdowns that exist on the episode. Follow him at MGP Throwdowns on Twitter. For some reason, I thought I was going to say Twitch, so I had to say it twice just so I wouldn't say Twitch. Twitter. At MGP Throwdowns. He's been diving into some of our earlier episodes, which is awesome, digging up some of our older battles, which I don't even remember. He's weighing in on them. It's a great time. Be sure to follow him. I know Wolf's Lore. I got it wrong. I'm correcting it. Also, Wolf's Lore has his own Twitch account too, at Wolf's Lore. Go check him out there. Also, on Saturday nights, we stream video games at 8 p.m. Central. I think we talked a little bit beforehand, but are either of you two gamers, Karla and Mike?
I play a bit. I'll say I haven't played as much. I have a 4-year-old kid. Well, we have a 4-year-old kid. I haven't played as much since he's been around. At least I try to play more discreetly because every time I even pick up my Switch, he's like, "Dada, what are you doing?" Like, he asked me today. He said, "Is this a game for boys or is it a game for grown-ups?" I said, "It's a game for grown-ups."
Out of curiosity, what game was it?
It was Zelda: The Breath of the Wild.
Okay. But you know what, though? That looks like a game that's perfect for kids. You know, the art style and everything like that looks like it's phenomenal, you know?
It is. I just can't let him know that.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not for a million years.
Well, when he's older, and if he's curious, we also have a stream on Saturday nights. Not kid-friendly, but last Saturday, we played one of my favorite games of all time. It's a zombie game called Left 4 Dead 2. And it was a really good time. We played it with Slotty. We played it with Jervis. We played it with Noah. We had a grand old time. Everyone was such a good sport. Jared had bought it for the first time and then just hopped in and played it. Didn't know what was going on. Noah hadn't played it forever. Slotty's played it just a little bit. So we had a really good time. We played versus. We were screwing each other over. It was a real hoot. We had a really, really, really good time. So it was excellent. So thank you to those guys for hanging out. Thank you for everyone who watched. And more importantly, this Saturday, we're headed back into the dungeon for Dungeons & Dragons, the fantasy board game, starring our very own Justin, as well as Sam, Jared, and Eric. They're going to head back in to adventure number 5. We'll see if they can survive and make it all the way through. Now that they're level 2, it should be interesting.
Leveled up.
You guys leveled up. You guys are level 2 now. So come check us out Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. It's going to be a really good time. All right. Housekeeping over.
All right. So, you guys, we've made it all this time, months leading up to this. I think Adam, Drew, and I had this idea back in like, I don't know, April or May. We were just like, well, this year's toast. So how do we create things? So the three of us got together and said, well, let's make a quarantine-based web series where we film everything remotely, and we have the actors film on their phones and put, the cameras around, and we'll direct them through Zoom calls. And seemed like a really good idea. It turned out to be almost a year-long endeavor because it was far more complicated, but I feel like very rewarding. It was really fun. So the conceit of this show, it's coming out this Friday. The first episode is, and Mike and Karla are our first two stars of episode 1. Basically, it's 3 producers who are trying to figure out how to create in quarantine. So they come up with an idea, they pitch the idea, we kind of go into their vision of it, and then we see it start to fall off the rails. We come back to the producers, and the producers go, oh, wait, here's why this idea probably won't work. And then we see it gloriously fall apart in front of our eyes. And then the producers try to figure out a way to salvage it. And that's where the humor comes from. So that's kind of the overall idea of the show. And Karla and Mike, how was it filming? What did you guys think?
And be honest, because...
And be honest. You won't offend me.
No, you will, and you should. So lay it out there.
We'll
I
try.
deserve to be offended.
I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't actually really know how it was going to work. It was explained to me, and it was like almost immediately I was like, oh, totally, I get it. And then a second later I was like, no, you didn't get it. How is that actually going to work? And then like once we set it up, it totally made sense. I was like, wow, you guys had to like think it through in so many different like dimensions almost. It was I don't know, I had a good time, and like I hadn't done anything in so long. I was like starved to do anything. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
What was the last thing you did, Karla?
Yeah.
I did some union extra work for, I think, something that comes out on Friday as well. It's about the Chicago fire on WTTW. So
cool.
You'll see me running, maybe the side of my face a little bit. And then the back of me.
Fair
All
enough.
right. There you go. Bam. So how long has it been since you've done anything before this?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That was...
When did we film this? Like 2 months ago? I don't even know. Like a month?
Yeah.
Everything is a blur.
Yeah.
Yours
Oh, yeah.
was one of the yours was one of the most recent ones that we filmed, but it's also the first one coming out. So it had to be within the last month and a half.
Maybe it was like a month. Yeah, maybe just over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like I've only done a couple of things, and they were all things where I just stood there, which is amazing. I'm so grateful.
No, you don't get it. This is awesome. Like, happy to do it.
Even when she
And
filmed,
that was what, April, May?
yeah. Well, even when you filmed the Chicago fire thing, it was like, what did they tell you? It was like one of 6 projects going on in the entire country or something.
Wow.
One of 3 like union like there's just nothing.
Because it was almost right away. It was like in April, and then the other thing that I did was it was hot out. So I don't know what time is. I don't know what time is anymore. I was like, okay, so it must have been like one of the hot months.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you're an actress. That's like you are actress, entertainer. How do you define? Because in your email signature it says entertainer, and I thought that was really cool because not a lot of people, I feel, bill themselves as such.
Also, just don't say actress. You're not supposed to say that anymore.
Don't wave your finger at him. I
get in trouble for it all the time.
I have call no myself idea. An actor.
You
that's
done
fair.
fucked up, Justin.
Here's the thing. I have been very angrily corrected the opposite way too. So I have no idea what to say anymore.
I know. It's hard.
You know, I haven't looked into it enough again to go either way. But when I was in college, we were going through all like theater history and how men played women, in the theater, and then that would be named, that you would be an actress, and that would make you a less of an actor, so not considered an actor. So then it's just, that's from there. So in my email signature I do say I think performance artist, because it's not like I don't just like acting. I would say I'm an actor to cover it all, but like I like I like to sing. I like to dance. Pretend that I can dance. Yeah,
Which you'll see some of that in the episode this Friday too.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you'll
Some
see
of the
my
dancing,
fabulous
But-
technique.
You guys are entertainment family too, because Mike, you do some stuff. What is it exactly that you do?
Yeah, well, I'm a dueling piano player. I mean, I grew up doing theater and acting, but now I go around the country singing and playing piano, performing at weddings, and like corporations hire me. Just mostly like, singing Lizzo and Lady Gaga all night is basically my full-time job. Oh.
That is an awesome fucking job. First off,
It is. It really
and there is a video out there of you singing "Rap God."
Yes, yes,
Or,
there
or,
is.
sorry, not singing, spitting "Rap God."
Rap God, yep.
Spitting straight fire on that track.
Yes.
That was incredible. How long did it take you? If Doug can find it, he'll post it in the Twitch chat so everyone can check it out. But how long did it take you to learn that?
I mean, learning it wasn't the hard part. It was just training my mouth to spit the words out that quickly. Like that was, the words are almost easy, because it kind of just flows and you just take a breath, close your eyes, black out, and go for it. And then you shake out of it a few seconds later and you're done. I mean,
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I saw that and I was like, okay, that's really cool. Because not only to do that, but then also play piano while you're doing it. Pretty impressive.
yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I also was a big fan of the Mr. Brightside and All the Small Things.
Oh yeah, that's one of my classic mashups, and we did a little music video of that one. So
yeah, big fan of Blink-182 over here. I love Mr. Brightside. It's a great song. So I was like, oh, I like this guy.
Yeah,
he's singing my songs.
So I guess in quarantine, being from a performing family, like what has it been like? Because I mean, obviously you talked about, Karla, you haven't been able to do much because productions have just straight up been shut down. And Mike, I'm assuming a lot of people aren't hiring live acts right now. So like how has it been for you guys, and how have you guys been flexing your creative muscles?
It's been rough. It's been rough.
Yeah, it's not the creative muscles sometimes.
Yeah.
Our son probably deals with a lot of it. We just frolic around the house singing and skipping, and now he sort of does that too. So it's.
But he's at that right age, right? Where like you can, because Doug, you've got a 4, almost 5-year-old. Like it's they'll glob on to that like no one's business.
Oh yeah. I had a fun time last night. We were reading books, and I was what's the book? I Will Love You Forever. And that one's a little sappy for me. So like I was like, the front cover is like a little boy in the bathroom with the toilet open, like gonna flush his mom's watch, and I go, hey, this one's you, and it says, Natalie poops in the toilet. And so I just started making up the story. I started, because every page is like the mom sings to the son. There's a song. I go, Natalie poops in the toilet. She started like yelling at me, but it was like playing back and forth. She's like, no, you poop in the toilet. I go, I probably do, like multiple times per day, depending on what I eat. Like I just like going along. We had a blast just like doing it. And today when she got home, I was like, she's singing a song. I'm like, hey, do you remember that other song? She's like, what song? I go, Natalie poops in the toilet. She goes, no, you poop in the toilet. I'm like, all right. I mean, whatever. So yeah. We're creative.
She turned into a little Jack Nicholson. Just
you
poop in the toilet.
I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I will say though, there were times when it's like I don't want to do anything. Like I don't know, it was like a pretty deep funk there where I'm like, existential crisis. Is this really real? Like, does it even matter? Why are we here?
Yeah.
The world is on fire, and this is what I want to do. Like, I don't know.
Like Doug and I have talked about this extensively on the podcast. Like, it's almost been like a therapy session for us. Like, just the fact that you're right, the world just feels like it's falling apart around us, and we're like, does writing something and filming something, does acting in something, does any of this really make a difference for anything? Like, why do it? Why be creative?
Well, then there's the other side where it's like, here's my day job. Boy, this really doesn't matter. When you're like, at least on the creative side, like I feel like I'm expressing some part of that, but like in the day job, it's like, no, I don't care about any of this at all.
I was listening to. Are you guys a fan? Do you know Glenn Hansard at all? The musician.
Mm-hmm.
He was. He's an Irish musician. He was in that movie a couple of years back called Once and they won the Falling Slowly won the Oscar for that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think I recommend him to anyone who is not familiar. Please go check him out.
Sure.
He did like an Instagram story talking about how people were asking him like, well, you've got to just be like writing song after song after song in quarantine. He's like, really, there's nothing to write about. Like, he's like, I'm just sitting here and I really kind of feel like shit right now. So like, I've heard artists talking about how it's just that kind of pressing feeling of like just not being creative.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a live performance. I mean, that's sort of the high that you get is going out and having people clap and cheer, and then that's gone. And suddenly it's very easy. You know, it's like you see all the time, like comedians, like people get depressed really easily, just kind of backing away from that. It like being by yourself. It's probably the least motivating time that someone, especially a writer, could have. It's hard.
Yeah. Have you been doing any of the live? Because like the thing that really got me in the beginning of this whole thing was all those Instagram live concerts that musicians were doing. Did you guys like done anything like that? And with the dueling piano company you work on?
Yeah, well, not so much with our company. Well, so it's like our company, which is Felix and Fingers. That's the company I work for. We spent pretty much all of quarantine basically talking to venues and like basically trying to like build the business up and do kind of that more back end side and kind of like put the creative stuff on hold. So we've just been like making friends, networking, so that after this is done, we it's bigger and better, and we've been able to survive so far through this. So it's great. Yeah. I personally went on a couple of times and just like once I was just like feeling kind of bummed out or whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go on live and just sing a bunch of Disney songs. And so I just went on for like 2 hours. And all these people were coming on with their kids and just like, be our guest and this song, and I just literally did an all request Disney show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
that was on Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook Live. And you tell them about your.
Oh yeah. So I also do I have my own character performer company.
Mm-hmm.
And we do like princesses and superheroes. And
awesome.
When the quarantine started, I was like, okay, well, we're all going to go virtual. So I did that, and it was pretty popular at first. Then it died down, and now it's back up again. But I did some virtual parties with the kids, and it was really sweet. But it's just not the same.
No.
Yeah.
But it was cool to do something different and see how many people like were actually like into it. Because I started reading books. And some I was reading in Spanish, and
cool.
Like I got a really great response from people. They're like, "Please do more of this," and I was like, "Awesome!" I didn't know that was something people wanted to hear, so that was pretty cool.
Cool to kind of like discover an underrepresented market or like something people are really hungry for that you just didn't know there was a demand for.
Yeah.
I think the beautiful thing about the quarantine in a lot of ways, I mean, again, it's a horrible thing that's going on, but, in times like that, just something as simple as, Josh Gad was reading, having a reading time for people, or you see musicians having tiny concerts online. And, honestly, for me, I mean, Justin and I used to do this podcast in the basement of a bar in downtown Chicago. Terrible.
Which bar?
Elephant and Castle.
Elephant and Castle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Love that place.
We would just go down there and record, and we would put up his phone from like 10 feet away. It was horrible audio quality, terrible visual quality. Barely anyone like gave a crap about us on Twitch. And then once this happened, I was like, well, we got to figure this out. And so this has actually allowed us to put on a better show on a regular basis, and allowed us to expand into like the video game like once a week. And we've met so many cool people doing this, like Wolf's Lore and a whole slew of other people, Fancy Ramen, like the folks that are in here. And honestly, for me, this has been like the best creative outlet because it gives me an opportunity to like go and hang out with folks. And some of the folks in the chat were talking, like Jared said, he says, I'm going to get all soppy, but doing the video game streams definitely helped me through the hardest part of COVID. Yeah. Married with Gaming says, I felt closer to my internet friends thanks to quarantine for sure. Playing games online, hanging out via Twitch has helped me immensely. So it's, awesome. It's really cool. Like to see these, I think things like Twitch and Facebook Live have given creative people an opportunity to be like, you know what? Let's just hop out there. Like the idea that you can be like, I'm just going to play some songs. I'll play some Disney songs. We'll just see how it goes. People are like, yeah, let's watch this. Let's see what's going on. Let's enjoy what this is. And in a strange way, for me, I felt more connected with people digitally than I had sometimes in real life, which is weird.
Yeah, I will say, like, listening to podcasts just like took me to another place. Like, and I like to listen to like true crime because I'm basic. But it was like every day I had something like Monday, okay, crime junkie. Tuesday, what's like my favorite murder. Every day it was like somebody's got something out, and I'm like, okay, and then they would just make my day, and it just would like give you that little lift, which was it's been super great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I've been trying to. I think the quarantine series has helped me kind of get through it, and I've been trying to figure out on the weekends, just like taking my camera out and like trying to figure out, okay, what can I film just me? Like if I set the camera up and I like just film a basic scene of like someone walking around, and really focusing on like, okay, well, framing and that. So it's actually made me like a little more in tune with my like. It's gonna sound really pretentious with my craft. But like
you got a fart soundbite you can play right there for yourself.
Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
My craft.
Nope, that's not what I meant, but that's cool.
Was that not it? No,
okay. That wasn't a fart, but that's cool.
Oh, fuck me, slutty.
There it is.
Like framing. Just go right past it. But no, like really like focusing on the fundamentals of what I do, and it's kind of like getting more into the technical aspect. I have found actually brings out more creativity in kind of a weird, like a way that you wouldn't assume.
Yeah.
What have you gotten into, Doug? We've all shared.
I just said what I shared. I got into Twitch, man. I bought lights. You should see his studio setup. He got real fucking serious. I mean, I have a blue wall. I have a blue wall, which I turned into like a blue screen. So I've got the Avengers logo just like blue screen behind me, which is awesome. Like I bought this mixer that I was planning on using. I'm like, well, I'll use it here now. Like I've really kind of gotten into this whole thing. I've gotten into the whole Twitch realm, which has been really cool. Just exploring what content exists out there, and it's been really fun just for me to do that, and just taking a chance to write some stuff, and Justin give me some creative ideas of like, well, that's kind of wild. So what if we do like, I don't know, a podcast miniseries or something like, and we'll try to sound design some stuff and see if we can get voice actors that want to work with us. So it's there's been some creative elements to that in that regard, but for the most part, it's just this being able to do something like this has been such a wonderful creative outlet that I was just thinking today. I'm like, if we ever go back to normal, I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna not do this. Like, I think this is the new thing.
I'll never see Doug again. Doug's just gonna be.
That's false. I miss the hell out of you, man. Nothing beat doing this like right in the same room as you. Like that definitely sucks. But this is a close second.
One of the other things that I thought it was a fun idea, but I watched one episode, and it was a fucking train wreck. Was Second City was doing live Second City shows. Did you guys see any of those?
I didn't. No. And I mean, I know that some other places are doing that, and it's so sad. They're like, they're on sale now. They're for sale.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so how much is that going to be? Like $100 bajillion million? Because I'll buy it with my 2 cents. That's crazy though. And like I always gone.
Yeah.
So, I didn't hear about Second City. Are they?
They're selling it.
It released today. There was a story that said that they're for sale right now.
Wow.
So I think they said the second time in their history that they're for sale.
Huh.
So like I worry about. I mean, I know they've gone through a lot of controversy over the last year and a half or so with some of the Me Too stuff, and then some of the diversity issues, and then so like they've kind of hit up against all the things that have come up. But part of me hopes that maybe they can get sold to someone who can kind of like, exactly, who gives a shit, who can kind of clean house.
Yeah.
But then I also hope, I'm like, God, I hope some like fucking trust fund someone or hedge fund doesn't come in and just do all the super corporate gross realm.
Right.
It could go either way,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, the Second City's a brand, so I could see someone just like swooping that up and just being like having the funds to be like, it's okay if it doesn't make any money, we'll pay whatever we need to pay for it, but they just want to hang on to that brand so that when things start upticking, they can start capitalizing on it.
Absolutely.
Did you guys do any time at Second City?
I did.
At the
Charlie
jail.
went through the conservatory there.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago?
Oh my God, when did I graduate?
In the last
year?
year, she graduated.
Last year.
Recently.
Oh, it's awesome.
For like 9 months, maybe a
but
year.
then it was weird. And I was okay. So you guys kind of said something like this. The pandemic is a horrible, terrible thing. But some good stuff has come out of it. And for me, it's been like a break. I kind of don't want to admit that I wanted. It was so much pressure to be in these shows and audition, and all this stuff was just like really kind of like piling on, and it's like none of them seemed like things you can let go of. So it was like this kind of just, put a pause in a lot of things, and that was one of them, like doing improv shows, like just going and doing a like at the end of an IO show at 10 o'clock, and you do a jam or whatever, and it's like you would kind of take it for granted. And just recently, maybe even just this month, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I miss that right now. Like how much I wish I could just go out and have a hot dog at IO and then watch a show and see my friends be doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So it's weird like that, and thinking about how it's all like kind of closed up right now is really, really sad.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I don't know. Looking back, I just feel really lucky that I got to do it. And
Likewise.
Who knows what's going to come in the future? Like I'm actually super hopeful that something new and better and different is going to come of this, of all of this, for performers, like live performers, I guess, at least.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. I'm in the same boat where I'm like, Justin knows this. Like, I kind of like disruptions in sort of these sorts of things, because it sort of shakes these old traditions off to the point where we realize we're like, this was dumb. Like, we didn't need to be doing this sort of situation. So I'm also hopeful in the sense of like, what will fill IO's place? And if Second City is sold or whatever, like what will come out of the ashes of here that I think will be really great. Eventually it'll probably become corporate and gross. But in the meantime, in the short term, what cool thing will take over and be so cool and so neat and so unique that we can go and enjoy and see what will happen? Or will those things will it be something that we figure out how to do online? Probably not. But what if, like it kind of like fuels that innovation and I don't know. I'm fascinated to see like what will come out of it. It's a shame that anything has to close, but again, the long term, I'm like, what will be born out of the ashes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think, and we've talked about this earlier in the podcast too, or earlier in the pandemic, is that like the amount of creativity that this forced upon people. So kind of counter to what we were just talking about, like not feeling creative. When this first started, people had to figure out, well, how do we adapt to this and what do we do? And I think there was a lot of like the reformatting of most of the late night shows. I actually think they're a lot better now. Like I was always a fan of them, but now I find them really interesting because the hosts are just stripped down and they're like, whatever, let's just fuck around for an hour. Like who knows what's going to happen? And I think that's really refreshing. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that can be born out of this. Slotty asks in the chat, for the uninitiated, what is the IO? The Improv Opera? No, it was the Improv Olympic. It was close, yes. The Improv
and then
Olympic.
They got in trouble because the Olympic people are all over the internet and the world.
Yes.
They're like, you cannot say that word.
Right. But they operated as Improv Olympic forever, right? And then all of this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I certainly in the time that I've been in Chicago, which is just as an adult, it was Improv Olympics. And then at some point, just like recently, I was like, oh, it's only IO now. It's
right. It's like, nope, that's not what we're called anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, well, Slotty goes, so cities named Olympia, are they banned?
Right. Talk to the Olympics committee. I'm sure they're going after them.
Seriously, anything that's like Olympic, you can't do. There was, what was it? I think it was a podcast. It was, I don't know. I think it was something like a fan of the Olympics or something like that. And they used Olympic in the name, and they have to rebrand. I think they're actually
they got dinged by the actual Olympic committee. That's insane that they're that.
Some really, obscure podcast and I only know this because right before quarantine, I went to. Have you guys heard of Podfest?
Yes.
Yes.
Were you there?
No, we were not.
Because you're smart.
We were there in Orlando, like the day before they shut down the country. This was happening.
Oh shit. Okay.
Everyone's like talking like this is the last convention that's going to happen in America because they're
Wow.
Shutting it down.
You guys got it in just under the wire.
Yeah. And funnily enough, because that's a word, the last creative thing that I did before quarantine, like literally that Friday, I went home running scared. I had a week-long intensive at IO, and it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever done because I don't know if I should say his name. He was one of the instructors. Can I say his name?
Yeah.
I don't. Why not?
Craig Euler was my instructor.
Craig! Oh, I love Craig.
And I had him at
I hope she's gonna say good things now. Jeez.
At
I don't care if she doesn't. I love him.
I had him as a teacher at Second City, but he was forced to use their curriculum, which I get it, but then he wasn't able to give you his special potato salad. That's what I call your special something that you bring.
Yeah.
And when I took that intensive, it was something clicked, and I finally got it, and I'm like, I can improvise from now until forever and not feel like I don't know what the F I'm doing. What the fuck I'm doing.
Thank you for correcting yourself.
Please keep it crassy around here, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, and it was really scary.
And then they shut down the world.
Yeah.
The next day.
I gotta say, Craig gave me that same confidence too. I had him for my level 5 at IO, and he was all about teaching you about how to do the games, and with the Herald and stuff like that. And after those 8 weeks, I felt like I could punch through any wall or do anything because I had no fear. He'd beaten it out of us. I never met anyone so serious about improv. He'd come in, he'd be like, listen, you paid to be here. If you don't want to try, then just get the fuck out. I don't be here. This is your time. If you don't want to spend it wisely, I don't give a shit. Get out of here. You come and you play. And I'm like, okay, let's play. I just felt so jacked up and ready to go. That guy, I was like, let's improvise. I've got this. Yeah, that guy is magnificent.
I love the fact that was the thing that clicked for you and made you understand, oh, got it. That's the lock got unlocked. And you're like, the secrets of the improv universe have been bestowed upon me. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely different approaches, but I never understood why people were would poo-poo Second City so much because they were so robotic and this is the only way. And I see why. But it was mostly the only thing that I had been taught. But then I don't know. There's something just about his particular teaching style also that really gelled because he's a spaz and I'm also one of those.
Yeah.
That guy, I mean, watching him perform with Deep Schwa was that group of folks were phenomenal anyway. But yeah, something, because I had the similar thing. Second City was where I started with improv. It seemed very structured, and IO just seemed like we're having fun up here. We don't care if you break. This, it seemed like the heart and soul of improv, to me, just where people were just going, they were swinging for the fences, and it was crazy stuff was happening, and the creativity was there, and I felt really good, just going and learning from all that sort of stuff, and guys like Craig, really help unlock that potential of let's squash your fear.
Sorry,
it's all good.
It's all good. The kid needs attention.
Yeah.
I unfortunately never got to train at the IO, and I always regret, because Doug and I went through level A through E together, and as soon as we got done with that, Doug did conservatory and IO at the same time, and I'm like, I just can't. It's a lot of fucking money. I can't front that, and I always wish that I had done IO because everybody, Karla and Doug, everyone that I've ever heard speak about it is just that was the place where you learned improv. And I'm like, I wasted my money at Second City.
Oh, yeah.
I always wish I could have done that. Did you ever take improv classes?
No, I mean, I've done it, I've dabbled and I certainly do my share of it during my shows, it's all comedy and kind of interaction, but no, I've never studied, at any of the places here.
Yeah.
You were born in the world of improv.
I was just born. I'm just good at being an asshole to people. So
Me too.
It's just a natural skill, you know.
You're good at improv, then that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you know.
If there's one thing I'm good at improv, it's pimping people out, because I'm like, hey, what's that thing you got? Oh, you have sore legs? We're going to do squats in this scene. Here we go. Like, I'm just the worst at that sort of stuff because I think it's funny. The other person probably doesn't.
Doug does he loves pimping people out. I have been pimped out by Doug before, and it's a thing.
It's the best. I absolutely love doing it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
You and Karla could team up and do because you could be like musical director, and she could do the one woman improv show.
Yeah, and I have, because Karla's in a sketch group called So Sketch, and they've done some script written, and improv stuff and IO and some other things. And so I'll music direct some of their stuff,
that's awesome.
Because I've never again been trained in it, but I do just like fucking around behind a piano, just like it's like It was like a Christmas, and I just spent the whole time like thinking of creepy ways to like play Christmas music, like everything's like in a minor key or just it's like that's fun.
I love it. You've got the intuition to do it. Like you've got the feeling. You could easily do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It's just it's like at this point I have plenty of stuff that I'm doing that I don't feel like I want to go take a class at Second City, and maybe I never can. Maybe I'll change my mind next week, and it'll be too late.
Did it tell you how he thinks he's so so quick-witted and smart that he'd be too good?
No, I never said I'd be too good for an improv class. No, you know what? With your skill set, yeah, you would be. I told him I'm just naturally an asshole, so I think that's where a lot of my improv skills come from.
Craig would shut you down.
The worst part would be if they're like, all right, you don't have any improv experience, you got to start at level 1. I'd be like, I think you're overqualified for this, sir. I think you are. Just like, I think you got the basics. We can move you past that first level.
We're going to walk you right through this door to level 5.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
The elevator to level 5, please.
There we go. That'll work.
Oh, man.
Do not stop moving on up.
So speaking of, things for sale and things closing, have you all heard about all these?
That's our transition sound.
Yes. Have you heard about all of these movie theaters that are shutting the hell down?
Yeah.
Yep. So do you think it's kind of like a marketing thing, like, you can't come? That was my best Eric Cartman.
I was like, Cartman. I was gonna say, I love
that.
That's a great like tactic, right? Like, yeah, you can't come
We're
in.
only
Here.
letting 2 people in a day to come watch.
Right.
Well,
so they're trying to create their own supply and demand, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, AMC tried that when they were battling Universal, for all that sort of stuff, and now AMC's like, we will pay you cash we will give you stock if you pay us cash. Just please, we need the money.
Please don't leave us.
But
honestly.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just don't even remember any movies that were about to come out. Like, what would we even go see?
I know. I'm sure there were loads that were going to, but yeah. It's
it's just announcement, like push after push after push, just announcements of things up 2021, maybe 2022.
Right.
Yeah, Batman got pushed to 2022. So
yeah, I'm very bummed about that.
I'm like, oh, I like the teaser. And then
I've gotten like addicted to just like I don't have any desire to go see a movie now, because like literally I have I have more streaming platforms than I've ever had before. I'm so accustomed to the comfort of my living room that I don't know. I don't think movie theaters are going to be whatever, I don't think they're ever going to be maybe what they were.
And like shows are such high production quality now that it's like, I might as well be watching like a 20-hour movie and it's the best. Like,
right. Exactly. Exactly. Because you can live with those characters. You can live in that story for an extended period of time. Right. And every time I used to go to the theater and I would get ripping drunk and take my shoes off, they would always yell at me. So I can do that in my house and no one gives a shit. And
no one calls the cops.
I've grown accustomed to this.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, there's going to the movies was very sacred to me. But it is at this point, I'm like, no, like I have no desire to go to the theater. I have no desire, like other things, like, I don't know, was going to go to Disney World in February for my daughter's 5th birthday. Yeah, no interest in going back there right now. I was like, all my love for going there just was like, I was like, well,
Maybe
I guess
you should just have a princess wave to her from the window.
Yeah.
there we go. You know who that princess will be? It'll be me. I'll go out there and I'll be like, hey, I'm Belle, read a book. Oh, is that what she says? I don't know.
Let it go. Let it go.
But yeah, I have no interest in going. Like, there's definitely movies I would like to see, but I'm like, just release them. Release them. I'll rent them. Like, at this point, I'll do that. I'd be more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I mean, even more recently, just too, with like the quality of like what's available online and streaming. Even before all this, like I would go to the movie theater see like, Avengers Endgame, like some crazy big action special effects, but like not even like a drama, a comedy. Like that's just as good in my living room, in my opinion. Like the special effects, it's like almost going to an amusement park. It's like going to the movie theater. It's like fun more than actually like thrilling entertainment.
And you don't have to hold your farts in.
No, I mean not that would anyways, but.
Likewise.
I paid $17 for that ticket.
Right.
I'm throwing farts into the seat.
Chair. Yep, exactly.
Yes. Roll them. I like that.
Doug and I have become the singularity.
We have now merged.
Where were you guys when we were talking about that? My sister and I have a podcast called Potty Mouth Poopcast, and we talk about drilling farts into the seat. I've never heard that term.
Oh, Potty Mouth Poopcast. Hold on. Let me subscribe.
Potty Mouth.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, also, everyone listening right now, go subscribe to Potty Mouth Poopcast.
Everyone, you vamp. I'm looking for Potty Mouth Poopcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On all the streaming platforms. It's going to be great.
It's painful.
Give us a little synopsis about what Potty Mouth Poopcast is all about.
Well, as my sister and I host it, so we have great rapport. And we talk about poo and all things taboo. So not a lot of episodes yet, but I mean we were recording 26.
You're in season 2.
Morning.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They've survived.
We have. We were working on the beginning of season 3 because we did I don't know, like 12-ish episodes, less maybe each time. But anyway, we both got in this super weird quarantine funk, and we're like, I don't want to do it. First it was my sister, and I'm like, come on, let's go, I gotta do something, I've got time. And she's like, no, I can't, I don't want to right now. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be supportive. And then she was like, okay, let's go, I can do it now. And I'm like, no, I'm in a funk. But now we're back.
Never lined up. Yeah, but that's I don't think as new guests to this podcast, you don't understand what bell you just rung in Doug's head. Like, he is, allow me if I can to play one of my favorite Doug clips.
Okay. I just poop jaculated my moist missile.
I just poop jaculated my moist missile. Yes, he loves poop. Okay.
We'll get to the butt in a second.
All from Doug.
I mean, I pulled those quotes, so I mean, I have only myself to blame. So that's the thing.
It is amazing. I cannot believe that.
I'm loving the titles of some of these, like Public Restroom Etiquette, A Very Angry Episode. Knock, Listen, Open, Idiots. What else we got here? Where's another good one? Yeah, the Science of Poop, Toddler through Teen. I'm yeah.
They get scientific in there, you know. It's like they do research.
I love
softcore research.
Love everything about this.
Look, if you're gonna do poop-based content, you've got to do your research on it. You can't go in there half-assing it, right?
I mean, Justin and I did an episode about
Where's your cheering button?
Yeah, right. Justin and I had a whole episode about bathroom etiquette and things like that. It's something that I think we can all listen. Everybody poops, so we can all relate to this. So yeah,
it's true. It's the truth.
We get very passionate about it because people got passionate about that topic.
Of course,
everybody has their different ideas about what is correct and what is not. So,
I'm gonna throw something out there for you. I just as a test, as a litmus test here. So, Mike, there's 5 stalls in a public bathroom. Okay, sorry, 5 urinals in a public bathroom. Man 1 walks in. Which one does he go to?
Far left or right, probably.
There we go. Okay, so he's over here. Man 2 walks in. Which one does he go to?
Opposite side.
There you go. And how about the third guy?
It's right in the middle.
There you go. See, it's not that hard.
It's called
okay?
social
To all the-
distancing.
We've been doing it for years. All right.
I mean, you even use the little kids one if there's somebody at another
Yes.
one. Like you don't go to the one over just because it's big. It doesn't matter.
I'll piss in the stall. I will not pee next to. Yeah.
No.
You know what I find interesting is when guys won't pee in like the little kid urinal. I'm like, guys, you just have to aim down. Like people are like, I don't want to. I'm like, it's just aim down, man. Like it's not that hard. Like
Doug is 6'1". He uses it.
I'm 6'3", but thank you. Spit all over myself.
I didn't want to over. Doug's getting. Do you see how excited he's getting?
I was like,
He's spitting on himself. Yes. You know what Doug just did?
I just poop ejaculated my moist missile.
Yeah.
I walked right into that one. I did that to myself. Not only did I pull the quote, but then I just, set myself up. That's what you call slam dunk right there. There was, I can't remember what you were doing in another episode, but like, were you like throwing toilet paper at your buddy's like feet or something? Cause he was in the stall next to you. And this was so long ago when we were actually at offices, but
Right. In the office. Yeah. I was trying to, if we were pooping in the same time, I would throw shit under the urinal because he wouldn't, or the stall. He didn't know I was next to him. I figured out it was him somehow, and I was throwing shit. And
well, you gotta be so mysterious about how you knew it was him.
His shoes. No, I've heard him grunt before.
I recognized his scent.
I was like, wait, that's a Heg fart. Yep, I got it. Yeah, I would throw shit under there, or if I knew it was him, I would text him. And something, I was like, ooh, I said, it sounds like you're stopped up, buddy. And so then I would just hear silence, and then I would just hear, oh, fuck you, you're ruining this. And you just yell it at me. I love fucking with people in the bathroom as long as you're not next to them at the urinal.
Yeah.
Then it's eyes forward.
Crossing a line.
You read the porcelain.
I was doing a wedding once, maybe 3 years ago, and it's always like weird because the bride you always recognize. We never meet them before we get there. Talk to them on the phone maybe, but like the bride obviously is in a white dress. The groom is always harder to discern who he is because he's just another guy in a suit, So one time I got there early. We're setting up. I go into the bathroom. I'm peeing in the stall. A guy comes and starts peeing next to me, and he turns to me and he goes, "Are you Mike?" "Oh, hey, it's me, Steve." And he shakes my hand, and he's like, "Sorry, we probably shouldn't be doing this as we're both peeing." And I was like, but the fact that he kind of called attention to the fact that he shouldn't have been doing that, it sort of almost made it less awkward in a way. But yeah, I just remember that was the groom that I met while we both like had our hands on our dicks. So,
I don't. Yeah. Like that's the only reason he got a pass was probably because he was the groom.
Right, he could do whatever.
Yeah,
He's probably already a little drunk.
he may have been drunk.
it's true. We had Drew just jumped on here. Every time he jumps on, Drew's very much not a fan of poop. But every time he jumps on, somehow he always catches us talking about it. So he thinks this podcast is solely about that.
Well, it's funny because he doesn't hop on that often, and we don't talk about poop all that often. So
no, it's just every time he's like, it's like he's a magnet for poop.
It is
because he's avoiding it. You attract with something like something.
Opposites attract.
Hashtag proverb.
Paula Abdul sung about that once. Am I right? Said opposite attract.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
yes.
was a number one hit.
It was because opposites attract. Da-da-da. Remember? I'm making up for the last week when I couldn't remember it. Who sang it?
Mike has a big problem with poop too.
Oh, really?
And like,
well, I mean, whatever. I'm talking about it here, but yes, I for one I'm not inclined to. The poop joke is not my go-to form of comedy, I will say.
That's fair. It's Doug's.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my go-to, but it's funny.
Carlos for sure.
It's funny. I mean, like
I don't know. I'm gonna put this to the people listening. Do you agree with Doug where he said it's not his go-to?
I don't think it's my go-to.
What's that?
I don't think it's my go-to, but it's funny.
I got a couple other clips here that I can.
It's a strong choice.
What else do you have?
It's a.
Doug, you have my endorsement.
Yes, that's all I needed.
I enjoy a moderate level of poop talk. I'll say that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not gonna get nuts with poop.
Please tell me someone's clipping this right now.
Yes.
Dead giveaway.
I mean, give you an example. The other day, like my dog hops up on the couch. I'm talking to Jill, my wife, like about stuff. My dog just leans forward, is like, and I was like, So it goes, was that the cat? I go, the cat's not here. And she goes, what was that? I go, it wasn't the couch. I think it was the dog. I was like, how can you not laugh at that? That's funny.
Funny. My uncle.
Has your dog ever farted and scared itself?
No, that hasn't happened yet. But
my dog has done that once, and it was fucking hysterical. It was like kind of like half passed out, didn't looked up and looked behind, what was that? It was just totally freaked out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, the innocence.
Slotty says, I don't know that it's poop per se, but Doug goes blue in a hurry. You're fucking right, I do. All right?
Yes. It's almost like Doug's worried he's not going to get there quick enough, so he double times it.
There's something to me that's really funny about things like swearing can be really funny at the right times. You overdo it, whatever, but the right swear at the right time, the right grossness at the right time, the shock value to me is always highly entertaining. So, there, a little bit more about
I agree.
me.
It's the same. It's the same with the poop jokes. And that's why, an aptly placed poop joke can be the funniest fucking thing you've ever said.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's I don't know if it's an hour of just poop jokes, then I don't know.
It
true. Loses its appeal.
Yeah, it's gotta be regular. You know what I mean?
It seems like Karla disagrees with that.
Yes, she absolutely would. And I'm certainly a dig at her podcast, which is an hour of poop jokes. So.
We don't have an hour of
I
poop
know. I'm
jokes.
just kidding. You don't.
All I know is that every morning I get up at 6 a.m. to walk my dog while she poops, so I know I'll be listening to that first thing in the morning. So I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Yes, Wolf's Lore, the Boondock Saints, he said, has that one scene where they use the fuck word a lot. The fuck word. They use the word fuck a lot. And I think that might be the best use of the word fuck in cinema, personally.
Yeah.
It may be. I may agree.
I may agree. So indecisive. I love it. I might.
Yeah, indecisive but aggressive in his indecisive-ness.
Yeah.
I may agree.
I don't know.
That defines me maybe more perfectly than anyone has ever described me in my life.
Amazing.
Aggressively indecisive. I like that. I'm putting that on my LinkedIn profile.
Because that'll get you jobs. Tell me about yourself. I'm aggressively indecisive. I think I'm okay.
Do you want to work here? Maybe.
Sure. Probably.
I love that.
Speaking of movies, have you guys seen the trailer for Ryan Reynolds' new movie called Free Guy?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Very curious to know, because we had a very long talk about this off mic, Doug and I did. Very curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this.
Did Justin sound condescending at all when he just told you that? Was his tone a little aggressive?
Very.
I mean, here's the thing. It could mean that one of us was into it, one of us wasn't.
Could be.
It could mean that both of us didn't like it.
Yeah.
Could mean that both. You don't know. You don't know where I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you both could have just geeked out the whole
Yeah.
long discussion.
It's Ryan Reynolds. What's not to love?
Well, agreed. It's Ryan Reynolds. The people that the Deadpool people made it, which is already. And I'm always about games that kind of bring the video game reality like that. That's usually an interesting concept to me, because I feel like it hasn't really been overdone yet. So I don't know. I mean, just based on that, I think it looks really funny. And Ryan Reynolds is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Ryan Reynolds in any way you want to package him. For personal
Someone clip
reasons. But also, I was like, this is basically like Ready Player One and Truman Show, smashed together. But I would watch it. I want to go watch it because he's hilarious and pretty.
Yes, I'm gonna agree
And there's,
vehemently with both of those statements.
Buckets of people that I haven't seen really in a lot of stuff, and that is always a good thing for me to see.
Yeah.
I like it when it's not just a bunch of the same people. So yeah, that was kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, and anything that involves dying and then you blink and you wake up in your bed, Groundhog's Day, all that.
Yeah.
That's super appealing to me, just because as a construct in film, I just think it's kind of fun to imagine that.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think my hesitation is just I don't know how they're gonna ground this. Because I feel like most of even Deadpool had a sense of being real worldish. So I guess I'm hung up on too much of a logistical standpoint, because I'm I don't understand how the physics of this work. How is this one NPC
Right.
like aware, and then how is he going to somehow extend his game? Like, is he
That's
rewriting
the point
code?
of the movie, man. They say it in the trailer. It's like, this NPC is being the good guy.
True.
We're just gonna have to watch it.
They do say it. Yeah, I'm typically 100% on board with Ryan Reynolds movies. I think this is the first one that I'm like 50. I'm on the fence, and I don't know why. It worries me because I'm always all in with Reynolds.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I did want to see more of kind of the outside world, like how that. I mean, kind of just how they're reacting to it, and I imagine there's probably a lot more of that in the movie, but I don't know
Mhm.
because yeah,
I mean,
that
it's got
part's-
two of my favorite people in the world. It's got Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Oh, yeah.
very happy with both of those people.
Well, I didn't realize he was in it until I had watched the trailer because I've been hearing about the movie for a while, but yeah, he's so funny.
Slotty
Doug, what
goes,
was your-
so
oh,
wait,
go ahead.
Green Lantern, you were all in on?
No, I said I was. Wait, me?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said I'm all in on Ryan Reynolds, so
You
like,
did say all right.
were you all in on Green
True.
Lantern?
I was all in on the
Actually,
proposal.
Oh, okay,
Sandra Bullock and Ryan
Maybe
Reynolds?
I was too.
that
'cause-
wasn't bad. The proposal I liked.
It's got Betty White. Come on.
I know.
Jervis goes, it's not set in the real world, Justin.
Sorry. Can
Fuck me, slutty.
you say that louder?
Fuck me, slutty.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's the
that-
Australian.
Mhm.
that's the Australia.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like there's an accent.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Let's listen again.
No, you
Fired.
wouldn't hear one.
Wait.
Fuck me, slutty.
Yeah, I can't really hear it there.
Yeah, that's true.
Got it.
Doug, what was your assessment on that? when you-
Itoy
when you
also
saw it?
says this is basically, real world Wreck-It Ralph.
Doug is trying to
Yeah.
avoid this question.
I'm just
so
trying
hard.
to do credence to the people that are fans. I don't think it looks good.
You don't. Not
I
at all?
don't think it looks good. I like the overall concept of it, but I just feel like the execution is going to be lacking in just, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot going on, and it seems like the people who are made it like, hey, you know what people are like? They like video games. They like these MMOs. These like all these massively multiplayer games. What if we did a movie about that? And it seems like almost like a very formulaic, like, let's build out around that, like Big Bang Theory. It's like, hey, nerds like stuff. Let's make some nerd references. Check it out. He's in the game. He's an NPC. He puts on the glasses. He sees the health, and he can get it. And then he's got guns. And oh my gosh,
Feel some pandering going on.
I do. And I mean, it's not to say that it's not a bad idea, but I just look at it. I'm like, I don't know. It seems very cliche to me, and not to say that it won't be a good movie, but it's like, he's really a good guy. He's a nobody, but now he's a good guy in the digital world. And I'm like, I don't know. The first teaser was okay. I was like, all right, cool, I guess. And this one, it's like they gave almost too much information at that point about the movie, where I'm like, cool, I kind of know how this is gonna go, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I
He's
just
gonna
said you made
become
it
a
sound
real
more
boy.
appealing by referring to it as a real life Wreck-It Ralph. I'm
Yeah.
now obsessed with this movie, so thank you.
Which, by the way, I love Wreck-It Ralph. Not the second one, but the first one. I love
I like
that
the
one.
second one too. But I'm a big Disney nerd, and they had all the Disney.
So am
characters.
I. I'm a Disney nerd. Like, I got married in Disney. Like, it's my jam. It's my place.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know. But like, I like Wreck-It Ralph 1. The Wreck-It Ralph 2, I was just like, who's the antagonist here? Who's the bad guy? It's Ralph? Like, what's going
Ralph was,
Yeah.
for sure.
Talk about an arc,
Well, each-
Doug.
King Candy in the second one.
But King Candy was the first one. Yeah,
King Candy.
King Candy was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the internet.
Yeah, it's King Candy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And then they find the.
Yeah, they go to the internet
Thing.
and they find.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to find the steering wheel.
At murder.
What a terrible
Slaughter.
premise. All right, so here's what happens. A piece of their hardware breaks, and they have to go bid on it on eBay, but they don't have real life money. So then they have to go to the YouTube equivalent.
It's a game to who can pick the highest number.
Yeah, it's
30,000.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. I watched that one just being like, this one doesn't seem to have all the, because also, question, all right? So we get the idea they're at the arcade, right? First of all, what's Sonic doing at the arcade? There's no arcade game that involves Sonic. That's nonsense.
Oh, I disagree.
Really?
That's horseshit. He doesn't exist in any arcade game.
Hold on.
Get to it,
You say
Justin.
that very confidently.
Because
sir.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
I just feel like they could get the rights to Sonic cheaper than maybe some other characters.
Yeah, probably,
So we'll
right?
throw him in there. People
Sonic
in
the Hedgehog Arcade Edition.
Okay, when that come out? Doesn't matter. Anyway, so this also leads you to believe that there's other arcade games out there, right? In other places. So are there other versions of Ralph and
That's fair.
all these other people that they could technically connect to at some point in time, right? Or maybe they're just like, it's like different realities.
Like a multiverse.
It is. It's a
Yeah.
multiverse. You have a Ralph
That would have
that's
been
like,
your movie.
that's my movie.
There's your movie.
The Wreck-It Ralph
Wreck-It
multiverse.
Ralph multiverse. And or what's the Doctor Strange one?
Oh, the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
There's a madness.
There it is. Wreck-It Ralph and the Multiverse of Madness.
That would actually watch all that.
That would be kind of cool. You see a Ralph that's just like a true villain, like just absolutely hates
Yeah.
everything, missing an eye. He's got an eye patch, like just from
Right.
stuff that he's seen.
Smoking.
Yeah. He's
It's like taking the Rick and Morty playbook and
yes,
Wreck-It Ralph in there.
yes,
So
100
Dan Harmon
versions of
needs-
Ralph.
yes.
Dan Harmon needs to write Wreck-It Ralph 3. Yeah.
Right, basically.
All right, we need to get this trending, okay? So everyone hop on Twitter and what do we say? Hashtag Dan Harmon Wreck-It Ralph. All right.
There you go. Make it happen.
He's gonna wake up and go, "What the fuck is this?"
I don't understand.
And then he's gonna
Slotty
sit down and write the movie.
said this is becoming a regular segment. Doug angrily describes a movie he didn't like. Have you been around the other 266 episodes, pal? Like, that's always who I am. I angrily have opinions about things that I didn't like.
Hank
Wreck-It Rick.
consistently ribs Doug about this.
Yeah. Yeah. I have thoughts and opinions about it. But-
I will. Here's the thing. Last thing I'll say about this Free Guy. I will 100% watch this movie. All right. I watched Six Underground, and if I can sit through, I will watch anything Ryan Reynolds is in. I'll give it a chance. So I'm gonna be watching this movie for sure.
When
it
it's
comes out.
available on streaming, I'll probably check it out of curiosity. Because
Oh, I'm not gonna go to the movies. No.
no, you're
Neither is
gonna pirate it.
anybody.
Yeah. Doug, I'm gonna pirate it. You're goddamn right. I'm gonna pirate it.
Arr, matey.
What are your guys' thoughts on pirating?
Yeah.
Just yay or nay?
I have mixed feelings about it.
I've done it. I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Is
All right.
We both have fathers that have brought home movies, gifts, if you will, to the children.
Oh yeah, my dad's a pilot and flies to China all the time. He'd come back with like, this movie hasn't even come out yet. Check it.
and my dad likes to shop at the
the Mexican flea markets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, before it was you can't go, he would just like buy this stuff, and it's all like pirated movies and stuff. And but it's like it's funny because I would watch them, like cops would come by and just kind of walk down, and they had their movies all on their tables, but you think that they're just on display, right? But they're on top of these huge blankets that they then just like wrap up as soon as the cops come, and they throw them in the van, and they're out of there.
Very nice.
So cool to see.
We got that on
Man, I'm gonna
lockdown.
get someone in trouble, aren't I? But
No.
anyway,
You
yeah,
never
I
said
don't-
where it was. That's the important thing.
it's true. No, but like I don't know, it's not a good thing.
I was like, as a
So
creative
those are my mixed
person,
feelings, like,
as a
don't do
creative
it.
person, right? To some extent, you're like, hey, don't steal my shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't steal my shit. Steal like Brad Pitt's shit. Like he doesn't,
Right.
He has a prettier face than me.
Steal
Yeah.
Mulan. $30. Come on.
Yeah. Steal that shit.
Steal that.
Yeah.
That's
There's-
amazing.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I never feel bad about pirating ever.
Mm.
Doesn't matter how many times I do it or who's joining?
What in the world? What just happened? Karla just
Uh-oh,
joined
are we-
again.
I don't want to see a penis.
Oh, no.
No, it says you
No, it's
just joined
literally
again
you.
somehow.
Yeah,
Is
it's,
it really?
yeah,
My phone's downstairs. Oh my gosh, what's happening?
that's hilarious. Hold
Perhaps
on.
our son has like found her phone and is like
He's like,
Let me
what's
just
this?
You just see a
live stream.
4-year-old walking around.
Don't worry. Problem solved.
There we go. Doug just
Okay,
nixed
just
that.
kicked her.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
This is live, baby. You're right, Etoy. This is 100% live.
Jervis says, in Australia, we don't call it piracy. We call it not waiting 6 months after it came out worldwide to watch it legitimately.
That's fair, too. You guys are like Germans. You have words for everything.
Because that is the thing that sucks, like in other places of the world, right? They have to wait until it goes through America, and then it goes to all these other places. So, like, I totally get why it happens in those areas, because like, yeah, I'm not going to wait 6 months when it's already out there. I'm like, I want to see it now, which is why I was really curious about Tenet, whether or not Americans were going to be cool with that, but no one really cared about Tenet, unfortunately.
Really just fucking fell right in its face.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Right, yeah.
Are you guys aware that Hocus Pocus was #2 at the box office?
I saw that. Isn't that?
I'm not quite sure how that even works. And what's
and then Star Wars Episode 5 was like #6. Like, I was like, what bizarro world are we living in?
Right.
Like, it's got to be drive-ins, right? It's got to be drive-in theaters that are playing that shit.
Maybe. I mean, I will say we've gone to the drive-in probably 5 times over quarantine. Like, there's all these pop-up drive-ins coming up, and we went and saw. They're showing like Finding Nemo, like nothing first run or anything, but it's like that's been more fun than probably going to the movie theater, anyways.
Yeah,
I've only been to the drive-in I think twice in my life.
I'm gonna go see Hocus Pocus.
That's what we were literally just talking about. That's amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying it's #2 at the box office. Like, it's crazy.
That's as it should be.
I've seen that movie one time and one time only, and when everyone's been going bonkers about it in my adult life, I'm like, I mean, I saw it, but.
My sister used to love that movie so fucking much, and we would every Halloween she'd watch it on repeat. You know how kids? Oh well, you guys know. Kids watch shit on repeat all the time. So when she was like in like her 6 to 8-year-old phase, that movie, I can't watch it. I have like, I get twitchy when I think about it.
Children.
Don't know what that means. All I know.
PTSD.
all I know is that I was strangely attracted to Sarah Jessica Parker in that movie when I watched it.
There's nothing strange about that.
I was like, I like this person.
Her boobs were pushed up like.
She turned me on.
Yeah, I was like, ah.
Those directors of that kids movie knew what they were doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, but like I was saying, there's one thing that I'm always cool with pirating. Doesn't matter where it's from or what it is, and that one thing is.
Welcome to the Throwdown.
Oh,
that's right. It's time for the Throwdown.
I always forget Tex's voice is still on that, which is amazing.
Yes, we used to just have the theme song, but a couple episodes back we had a wonderful gentleman named Mr. Tex. And he has this just beautiful voice that makes Sam Elliott cry.
Yes,
and he was nice enough to do the Throwdown, little bit in there for us. So
nice,
wonderful. So today's Throwdown, based off of the Free Guy trailer coming out, we thought it'd be fun to throw Ryan Reynolds into a Throwdown, and the only person that we thought that could possibly match up to Ryan Reynolds. Basically, it's an American Treasure Throwdown. It's Ryan Reynolds versus Paul Rudd. Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So unfortunately, one of these gentlemen is not exiting. Our job to figure out which national treasure do you murder? Yes, essentially. So Ant-Man versus Deadpool, Etoy says.
Well, I mean, if we go down that route, Deadpool's going to win. But still,
I don't know about that. Ant-Man could shrink down and do the whole,
We'll get to the butt in a second.
We'll be there.
Do the whole thing where he goes in their butt and it expands and kills him.
Yeah. Now, Thanos, the tensile strength of Thanos's, rectal tissue, obviously, scientifically, was proven that Ant-Man could not break it. However, Deadpool, I would beg to differ.
Okay.
Someone actually did a scientifically based YouTube video about that.
Because that was the whole thing for a while. It's like, how come Ant-Man just didn't go in Thanos' butt and then expand and kill him? It's like, well, his sphincter is too strong.
Right.
Okay, so Doug, set us up with a scenario.
All right. Before we do that, Dill Moment says, let's all just remember that Ryan Reynolds was buried alive. That just seems mean.
Very true.
All right. So
and Paul Rudd is immortal.
Yes.
He does not age. That was a superpower.
So they're both in LA. That seems like a good place for them to be. They're on the beach,
I'm into it.
you know?
Okay.
And they're both
Shirts
just
off.
shirts off, obviously.
Naturally.
And they're walking on the beach, and just people are they're flocking to both of them, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, national treasure, Paul Rudd! Oh my gosh, national treasure, Ryan Reynolds!" And they're just like, sort of, yeah, and then like they bump into each other and they bump heads, and like one of them gets a bloody nose because I think one's taller than the other. I don't know, like probably something like that. And the other one goes like, "Dude, what'd you do? That's my nose." And like they try to be kind, and everyone's around him, but like basically their hype people around him are like, "Fight! How dare you? You bumped his nose!" They're like, "No, fuck you! You should have been watching where he's going." And like the insanity of it like sort of feeds into they feed off that energy, and they decide like they have to fight for their fans, and so they square off. How was that for a setup?
That's great.
I approve.
I'm like very drawn into this scenario.
I've done my job.
I feel like there's a-
So I think that I don't know this for sure, but I feel like Ryan Reynolds is taller. I think he's got the height on Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I
So
think that might be accurate. Yeah.
that would then say that he's got the wingspan too. So I feel like Reynolds comes out swinging, and I think he lands the first blow, and I think it sends Rudd reeling. I don't think for long though, because I feel like Paul Rudd is less of a pretty boy. I feel like Rudd's got a little bit of a scrapper to him,
Mm-hmm.
and Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, so he's got
Points against him. I forget about that.
right, like he's got this like nice streak that he just can't fully suppress, you know.
Slotty says, does Ryan Reynolds own a candy store in New York? Because Paul Rudd does.
Really?
Are you giving us some factoids? Like some actual
I don't know.
Okay.
Itoy says he's never seen Paul Rudd's reflection, so he's obviously a vampire. I mean, I don't know. These are things, you know?
That's true, yes. Dull Moments thinks that both of them would just wink and sarcastic each other to death.
That's what I
They
envision.
would.
Like that's exactly what I envisioned. Like a series of sarcastic humor, wit, mixed with like some sexy punches that don't actually result in bruising.
A lot of it's going to be the people all around just constantly, oh, you know, it's like they go back, they have their like posse
They're just,
behind
like,
them of their super fans.
tumbling around in the wet sand, so it's sticking to their skin and it's exfoliating at the same time, so it's actually making it nice and shinier. Ooh.
Are we writing erotic fan fiction currently? Is that what this is?
Maybe you didn't explain this game right.
Would
Justin,
the theme song help again?
Guys, write this down. Clip this because
Welcome to the throwdown.
Actually, that doesn't help. That
No,
makes
that
me
makes-
really, yeah.
it makes it. It's getting hot in here again.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be this battle would have the ultimate trash talk
Yeah.
with it. Like the two of them would be. I don't think anyone would want them to actually start the fight. Everyone would just want them to kind of dance around each other and just keep slinging insults.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens is you see like really that Paul Rudd is actually a demon in disguise, and by challenging him in that way to the point where he has to basically unleash the darkness inside of him, he consumes all the souls around him, and then he runs away.
So including his fans.
Of
and that's
course,
how he
yes.
stays so
It's one of
young.
those things
Okay,
like he
yeah.
lets the demon out, and then the demon's like, you can stay immortal, but at a cost. Don't let me out. If you let me out, I got to
I think-
feed.
I'll say this. I think I do have to give it to Reynolds only because he's a little younger than Rudd, and I think he's based off of what he's done for like Blade Trinity and Deadpool and stuff. Sure, Paul Rudd is in shape, but like Ryan Reynolds isn't like fuck you shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
You
I've
know,
been trying to avoid that point. He's in he's in fuck you shape.
Don't
Yeah.
you think Ryan Reynolds, it's just all like glamour shape though? I mean, I don't know. Paul Rudd, like,
But you need the stamina to do all of the things that he needs to do for all this
guess.
like
But that's just like getting
choreographed.
that's just like getting tone stamina. This isn't like fight to the death stamina, you know?
So you're
I
thinking
just-
just glory muscles.
Well, also, I just think Ryan Reynolds has been a pretty boy movie star since like longer than I can remember. Like an start like Van Wilder, like really a long time ago. And Paul Rudd, he was kind of always the sidekick, and just became a leading man, in the last 6 years ish, maybe I would think.
It goes for the knees.
I just think Ryan Reynolds has been probably just groomed to know how beautiful he is, and just isn't. I don't know. I don't think he could really do much in a fight, and I think Paul Rudd probably got into a few scrapes, hanging out and not making it just yet. I don't know.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yes, and I feel like Reynolds would almost, out of the two of them, I feel like Reynolds talks more, so he would probably get a little caught up in what he was saying, and then boom, 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 here comes Rudd coming in low because he's a little shorter, getting them body shots. You
right?
know?
I feel like Rudd
punches him in the diaphragm, and then Reynolds can't breathe.
Yeah, I think
There you
Rudd
go.
would fight dirtier too.
Now we're getting to it. Now you're getting it. I
He
love
wouldn't
this.
care so much about also how he looked as he was fighting. Like Ryan
Right.
Reynolds is still going to be, I think, more. I think probably a bit more vain and wants to have the appearances of being a beautiful person. When Rudd, I think, probably wouldn't care as much
But
because
then,
he's also, he's like funny in a weird way that he would like dress up in like a fat suit. And I don't know that Ryan Reynolds is that kind of comedy.
he literally did that.
He did
in
that
one
in that
movie.
Christmas
Which
movie.
one? Which
With
one?
the best friends one.
Yeah,
I think
he
it was
was
called
like,
Best Friends.
yeah. He was like the
Oh,
big fat guy, and then he went and he got hot, and he came back, and he's like, "Will she like me now that I'm
Oh
hot?"
yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. What if like
Just
the
Friends.
hordes
Sorry.
of
Just Friends. Yeah. Okay.
It's on Netflix right now if anyone wants to watch it.
yeah, no wonder you know exactly what it was called. I'm thinking about the hordes of women that are obsessed with Ryan Reynolds
Mhm.
and want his babies. They'll come at Rudd.
Well, that's my other thought too. Is I
Hmm.
think the fans would back. I think Reynolds would have a larger
All of,
contingent.
Yeah.
Like the posse would be
Interesting.
bigger.
of the younger demographic, and they'd be crazy. Also, Paul Rudd's fans are, I mean, what? Like not cool moms.
Okay, a couple of interesting things. One, Slotty says who would the crowd side with, which I think is great that you got there. He says he thinks Paul Rudd would get the crowd on his side and lead them to victory. Wolf's Lore, who is in charge of the Mind Gap Throwdown, Twitter account, did some quick research. Ryan Reynolds holds belts in Shotokan Karate and Hapkido.
Yeah.
He also has training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
And then, but Itoy brought up a good point. He said, "Yeah, but Rudd is immortal. We're forgetting this. He's immortal."
I think that kind of ends things.
My heart says Paul Rudd, but my brain's telling me Ryan Reynolds.
I
Like,
didn't realize.
I want
Yeah.
Paul Rudd to win.
Right.
Yeah.
But like Wolf's Lore had to come in with some like facts and shit, and really throw a wrench in this whole
I
thing.
know. Because I even imagine like Deadpool before he was Deadpool, back in like Wolverine Origins or whatever. Like, it's some pretty severe martial arts looking moves in there too. I mean,
Yeah.
that he was doing, I believe. So I believe that he's trained like that. Now hearing it, which doesn't bode well for Mr. Rudd.
Yeah.
Sorry, one last thing from the chat here. Itoy goes, to Doug, my mind is telling me Rudd, but my body is telling me Reynolds.
That's true.
Yep.
That's what I'm feeling over here. I'm allowed to feel things.
I feel my feelings, okay?
Oh, my mind is telling me Rudd, but goddamn, my body's telling me Reynolds. Oh. All right, so guys, we gotta make a decision. Which way are we leaning?
I'm going Ryan Reynolds. Unfortunately, I have to go Ryan Reynolds.
You've been turned. Interesting.
Mhm.
All right, Mike, Karla, where are you? I mean, majority's gonna rule in this one.
I'm going Rudd. I've got one last thing to say about that, though.
Please.
Since Rudd is immortal, Ryan Reynolds can beat the shit out of him for as long as he wants. Rudd's still going to be alive.
All right.
I guess I think Rudd is ages perhaps like a vampire and does not, but I believe that he could be murdered in a way that someone with the skills that Reynolds seems to have. I mean, I think I've switched sides based on that information.
Yeah.
So
I think Rudd is yeah. I think Reynolds. I go.
You think what you're gonna say? You think Rudd's a beast, but
No, I want Rudd to win, but I think Reynolds will win.
right. based off of the fact that he's got training, and I don't know, like maybe Wolfslord, does Paul Rudd have training? Can anyone verify this? Because if we can't verify that, then I feel like we've got to say.
I think that's true. I think those are facts.
Here's the thing. Either way, we all lose.
We do.
Right?
Severely.
Either way, we all lose. I wish they would just hug it out and then go get ice cream and we could just watch that.
There's a quick twist on this. Don't think too hard. Same scenario, except you have to choose. The world is going to end, but you have to sacrifice one of them to save the world. Who do you sacrifice?
Oh, fuck.
Go.
I think Rudd's best work is behind him.
Yeah.
I think Reynolds. We still haven't seen what he can do. So
He needs to star in Wreck-It Ralph, the multiverse.
Wreck-It Rick. That's what I said in the
I
chat
agree.
there. Yeah. I guess, I gotta. Oh, fuck. This tears my heart apart, but I gotta say, Rudd needs to be sacrificed.
No, I gotta say, Reynolds, see you, buddy. It's been a pleasure. But Paul Rudd, your years are just beginning, pal. I want to see what else you can do. I want to see more Mac and Me clips.
You don't want the MCU to get. You don't want the MCU to get shook up. That's why. That's why you're choosing Rudd.
They've lost a lot this year.
He's the most charming character in that show. Unexpectedly charming is Ant-Man. He was phenomenal.
Wait, Jared just said Reynolds signed a huge MCU deal. I mean, I know that Disney now owns Fox, which owns Deadpool.
I've heard rumors that the next Deadpool is moving on without its original characters. So apparently Feige is getting interested in this. So allegedly.
Is moving on without the original characters?
I mean, I'm sorry, the original creators. Excuse me.
Oh, I was like, how? No.
Yeah. They're moving on without Reynolds.
All right. Well, and just like that, Marvel was dead to me. Oh my God, guys! Thank you so much for coming on today. This was amazing.
This was a
It was
delight.
awesome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Now is the time in the episode where we dance. No, now is the time where we plug. So, what do you guys want to plug? Either plug yourselves and or tell people what they should be reading, watching, consuming, doing.
Oh man.
Yeah. I go first.
No, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just like I said, check out my dueling pianos company, Felix and Fingers. For sure. If nothing else, just to watch, you can find videos of me online doing all sorts of things from Rap Guy, like we said, to Mr. Brightside, to Hakuna Matata, just all there's stuff up there of me just doing weird stuff I don't even know that I'm doing. So Felix and Fingers, check it out. I also write children's music. I only have a couple songs recorded, but you can look me up online, Michael Tykle. That's Tykle, Michael Tykle. That's my children's song persona. And
not Michael Tickle.
No, it's not Michael Tickle.
Totally different character. Let's not talk about him.
Yeah.
No, some girl on Facebook messaged me like, "Hey, it kind of sounds like Michael Tickle, and people are gonna think you're a pedophile." After I branded and spent all this time, it was not necessary. Okay, Michael Tickle clearly is what it is. All right. So
just tell him it was because his mom used to call him Michael Tickle Motorcycle,
Yeah,
but he didn't want to do the whole name.
I love that.
There we go.
great.
I love that.
And then I mostly am a creative person, but I am just from the business side of what we do. I listened to this excellent audiobook the last couple of weeks. It's called Fanatical Prospecting. And if you are in business or trying to, grow yourself or, trying to learn how to sell yourself more, I highly recommend listening to this book, Fanatical Prospecting. So I usually don't recommend kind of books like that, but I thought it was great. So I'll just drop that here.
Very cool. How about you, Karla?
I want to say that mental health awareness. There's no shame in getting some help if you need it. There's a lot of great online ways to get therapy. BetterHelp, I think, is one of them that it's called. They'll match you up with someone you can talk to if things are a little too much, which is totally understandable. So I would want to plug that. What else? Oh yeah, a couple of shows that I really like. Maybe not a surprise. Pen 15 is fucking amazing, but also Grace and Frankie. It's another two women, but they're in their freaking 70s, 80s, and you don't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking funny. I've laughed out loud, and it feels so good to laugh out loud, like a genuine LOL.
Yeah.
So many times on that show. So it's like, go freaking Jane Fonda. She's had a messed up life. So I would check those out. They have my stamp of approval.
That's
I will
awesome.
definitely be checking out Grace and Frankie for sure. Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about that, and
They've
I'm a
got
fan
just
of.
one more season, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
Jill watches it on the regular. She's a big fan. So
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
yeah.
And also, of course, Potty Mouth Poopcast.
Oh yeah.
And of course, Carla's Princess. This, I don't know if people will be able to see this.
Oh, yeah.
But my mug, Princess Pop Up, is
Yeah.
the name of her company. So if
Yeah.
you want to book Elsa to do a live or virtual event, or
These are all parodies.
I've been known to dress up as Spider-Man on occasion. So you never know who you're gonna get. But
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And it's
I
not
love
always me. I have younger faces doing some princesses.
Oh, wonderful. We are in our early 20s.
I didn't laugh at that.
That's
Good
right.
for you.
That's
Good for
16-year-olds
you.
helping me out.
Damn right. And on just social medias, where can people find you?
If you wanted to.
For what? Potty Mouth Poopcast? Let's see. Well, for Potty Mouth Poopcast, we're on Instagram. What is it? Potty Mouth _podcast, I think. And then Facebook, it's at Potty Mouth Poopcast.
Beautiful.
Let's see. What else? For Princess Pop-Up, it's actually at Princess Pop-Up America for Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Beautiful. I am going to recommend shamelessly the Quarantine Files coming out this Friday.
Woo!
10/9.
I really can't wait to see them all.
Yeah, so and they're going to be released every Friday, starting this coming Friday, and then moving forward. And we'll have the stars of the episodes on the podcast. But this is something that Adam, Drew, and I have been working on for a long time this year, many months. So check it out this Friday. It will drop on I think 2 East 8's YouTube channel. Just be on the lookout on all the social channels. We'll have links to it, egregious amounts of links to it. So you'll see it. Doug, what do you got?
For gentle reminder, this Saturday, that is October the 10th, check out the Dungeons and Dragons, the fantasy board game revisited. It's 8 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Come hang out, watch the hilarity unfold as Justin and all the crew play some Dungeons and Dragons. Also, highly recommend the show The Boys on Amazon. Final season episode is this Friday, and I can't wait. The show is amazing. It's amazing what they've done, translating that from the comics to their own show. It's phenomenal. I love the show. A little too real at times, a little too poignant, but it's great. I really enjoy it, so go check that out. Woo! So much stuff going on. Also, just don't forget, everyone, follow us on all our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Oh, geez, podcast. Got a lot of spit in my mouth tonight. At MindGap Podcast. It's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and check out our YouTube channel. We post highlights from our shows and our Twitch streams there. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. And also, don't forget to find Justin online as well.
That's true. On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on
Spotify,
on Apple Podcast, on Google Podcast, Stitcher, all the wonderful podcasting services, wherever you can find and consume the old podcast. Share us, rate us, review us, subscribe, all those things. The biggest one is sharing. Copy the link, share it out to your social network, and let everyone know that, hey, these guys are funny sometimes, and they have really cool guests like Mike and Karla. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap, and then just keep an eye on, again, all 2 East 8's social presences, because we got the Quarantine Files coming out this Friday and every Friday after that. And then Sid Penrose is actually, I think we're going to be getting the final mix down of audio. Color correction is done. And we have one more clip of VFX to do. And then we're wrapped up on that, baby. So that should be coming out, again, before the end of the year. Staying true to my promise.
You're a good man, full of promises. Yes. Karla and Mike, thank you so much for spending time with us. This has been wonderful.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us. It was great.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, and Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Twitch, thank you.
And the OG listeners, as always, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.